across all of our other platforms. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to What Were You Thinking? Presented by World's Greatest here on FanFest, being simulcast on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. We are, I don't know if we've eclipsed it yet, but we are this close, if not already there, to 1 million views of this show throughout the run, mainly driven by Twitter. It's awesome to see so many people paying attention not only to the Winter Olympics but also track and field, because we have so much track and field going on this show. Let's just dive right into Winter Olympics real quick, and we're going to bring Billy Demong on here from USA Nordic. Joining me again, my co-host Brandon, 800-meter runner extraordinaire, coming back for another episode. Brandon Miller, excuse me. I should probably give a last name, right? That's kind of rude.
Hey, it's all good.
This guy Brandon, I just found some guy. He's fast, so I brought him on the show. No, Brandon Miller, extraordinary 800-meter runner, first team All-American outdoor last year on the Bowerman watch list, which for those who don't know means he's one of the best track and field runners in college right now. USA beating Canada in hockey was my highlight of the Olympics yesterday, because we haven't done that in a long time. I don't know if you're big. Oh, man. Oh, and we got cats. They're jumping around. They're excited for it. You hear that? What an exceptional game. We had Nordic Combined kicking off I don't know what you call it, the long hill, the tall hill, the bigger hill. They kicked that off yesterday. Luge in full effect. There's so much going on. Curling in full effect. It's been really exciting. We're in the back end of the Winter Olympics now, but things are just starting to heat up, it seems like. Billy's going to come on any second here and tell us about what's going on with Nordic Combined. But were you able to catch anything last night after we were done with the show here?
No, I went straight to sleep, actually.
Oh, okay. It was an exciting, it was a thrilling show yesterday. We had Quenisha on and Alex Hooper, who that guy was an absolute riot, stand-up comic. Alex.
Oh my goodness, so funny.
Yeah, I haven't laughed that hard in a while. Do your abs hurt? Like, I know they don't hurt from you going to the gym, but they maybe are hurting after last night's laugh fest, we'll call it.
Oh my goodness, what? We got 10 minutes into the show last night, and as I said, my cheeks were already hurting because that man was so funny.
Awesome. If you guys haven't watched it, go back on our Twitter or on our Facebook and watch that episode from last night. It was awesome. Billy Demong joining us right now, Olympic gold medalist, 5-time Olympian for USA, currently executive director of USA Nordic. Billy, what's going on, bud?
I'm just stoked to be here with a track and field guy.
Well,
honestly,
see
like,
you guys later.
Last episode, I was like, you were like, what are your favorite things about, and I was like, anybody who can go around that truth measurement device called a track the fastest is my hero. So what's up, Brandon? It's nice to be here.
Nice to meet you.
So Mike, just a quick recap. We finished off about the halfway mark of events for ski jumping and Nordic Combined. And yeah, you were right. This morning for us, yesterday for them, men's ski jumping did the large hill, which, it's kind of funny to the American spectator because everybody loves it, right? It's always like number 2 in the Winter Games to like figure skating. But, I think also they watch like 10 in a row and they're like, all right, they all go far. Nobody's falling. What's up? What's crazy is, and I think Johnny Splain's been doing a great job commentating and explaining like the minutia that this is like Formula One. The things that are making the smallest differences, it's like athletes' body weight, athletes' preparation, and then a bunch of stuff going into the equipment, suits, skis, bindings, everything's customized, everything's cut to fit, everything's, testing different materials. So really cool. Team did really well. I think young team. We weren't only expecting to have 1 or 2 athletes at the games. We ended up with 4. So pretty stoked about that. But Nordic Combined actually is going on the 14th. So, probably, I guess that's sometime 2 mornings from now for us. But that's going to be a really exciting event because they put 4 in the top 25, which is really the best result in 12 years. And then we'll have the men's ski jumping team event. And then finally, we'll have the men's last individual large hill, which is the event that I won and Johnny was silver in 2010. So pretty cool to see like this is the first generation post, us dominating in Vancouver. And so I'm psyched to see if they can take an even another step and crack that top 10, maybe even fight for a medal. I think it's all possible right now. And what really makes me happy is, Brandon, I don't know if you know this, but I basically started my own NGB when US Ski and Snowboard cut our disciplines after 2010. And so we have 26 staff worldwide. This is the first games I've missed since 1994, believe it or not. I went to five games in a row, starting with Nagano as an athlete, and then was the executive director of the organization in 2018. So yeah, pretty crazy career. But hey, one thing, Mike, I know I'm only on for a few minutes. I really want to talk to Brandon about the 800, because I was an 800 meter runner in high school, but I was like kind of garbage. Like, I was like a 2-minute guy, which is like a 2-minute half mile in high school is kind of like, it's so pedestrian. It's like not even funny. It's kind of like, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was like Frank Shorter in his book, like, back in the day. It was like, hey, how do I know you ran 420 in high school? Because everybody fucking runs 420 in high school, man. Like
not everybody
child born that ever ran from like 7th grade to 11th grade broke 430. It is what it is. And then 1 in a million of those guys is Alan Webb. And it's so crazy. And anyway, so Brandon, when I was living in Park City, and I'm going to hand it off to you, I was training. This is like 20 years ago. There was 2 cross-country skiers and me. I was super focused on combined. The other cross-country skier was super focused on cross-country. And this other guy, who was actually a World Cup podium guy in cross-country, was still running track. And he ran like, I want to say 150 flat, which is pretty solid.
Wow.
He was like all American-ish. So tell me a little bit about you, and tell me, like, what's it like to be that fast for that? I mean, like, what a crazy hard race, even harder than the mile. That's like, you're like the thoroughbred.
Right.
Yeah. The 800 is definitely, as they say, it's a man's race, I should say. It's just like the combination of speed and endurance and all this and all that. But a little bit about me. I was blessed to have a lot of success early as a kid in the 800. So like, I had like the 13-year-old world record in the 800, like the 14-year-old world record in the 800.
So you were running faster than I did as a senior in high school when you were 13, right?
I ran as a 13-year-old. I ran 156. 156.
Oh yeah, you dominated it.
So I was able to run 149 in high school. Committed to Texas A&M, and then my freshman year of college, it's crazy because I did not make the indoor national championship meet, and my PR indoors was 148, but then outdoors, I guess something clicked. My mindset clicked, and I was able to cut my time down to 144. I was runner-up at the national championships outdoors in Eugene, Oregon. So I was blessed to experience some success early and throughout my college career so far as well. So.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to pull up this thing that my wife posted on Instagram. It's like, the Summer Olympics is all about truth. Fastest in the water, fastest around the track, and blah, blah, blah. Like higher, faster, stronger. And then in the winter, higher, faster, stronger is like, chuck yourself down a sheet of ice, survive, like so wild. Dude, that's so impressive. I got to tell you, like, I am a huge fan, and I'm going to be following you hard now. So
thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I still Brandon, like just a few years ago, I was like finishing my career in skiing, and I was like, you know what? While I'm still fit, I'm going to try to run a fast marathon. Like my buddy and I called it like the New York Project. And I literally ran like 15 times was all I had time for. So I like just did Yazo 800s. And have you ever heard of those? Brandon?
Okay, right. I'm back now. I'm back. I think I kind of cut out a little bit.
Have you ever heard of Yazo 800s?
I'm sorry?
Yazo 800s. Dr. Yazo 800s?
I have never heard of that.
Okay, so look this thing up. YAZZO. So it's like this crazy rule of thumb that's been proven out that if you can run equal work, equal rest, 800s 10 times in a row. Oh.
I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay. I think Bob tried to kick me out, but it went like, how disappointed that you can't use FanFest anymore are you? And I'm like, I'm disappointed right now, I guess. So anyways, all right, 10 times, right? So 2-minute 800, 2-minute rest, 2, 2, 2. You can run a 2-hour marathon. And it's held true from like 206 guys all the way to like 4 hour. And so I ran 233, 233, 233, you know. I did this. I had 15 runs, I swear to God, from August to November to run in New York. I ran 233, 10 of them 2 weeks out from New York, and ran 232.50. It was the craziest thing. Hey, all
That's
right.
insane.
I think Bob is trying to kick me out, but Brandon was awesome. Mike, great to see you again.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah,
You can come back anytime.
I'll
want
be staying on to watch.
I want to hear from you throughout Nordic Combined because it's about to get really crazy out there in Beijing. So please come on back as often as you want. But in the meantime, Marybeth Sant Price joining us right now. What's going on?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Marybeth, meet Brandon. Brandon, Marybeth.
Hello, Marybeth. My name is Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. Nice to meet you.
No problem. Nice to meet you. I've been seeing a lot of you this year.
Yeah.
You have been going crazy.
Same goes
so far.
to you too.
So thank you. I appreciate you.
So everyone who's watching right now, Marybeth Sant Price currently running the 60-meter indoor, also 100-meter sprinter, had the world lead for pretty much for a couple of minutes yesterday, I believe, before someone in Poland, I believe, took it right back. But the top of that leaderboard is absolutely insane. You had a phenomenal race down in Fayetteville, Arkansas, who we keep talking to people in Fayetteville. Are you still in Fayetteville right now?
I am not. I got back early this afternoon, so I'm back in Denver.
Awesome. So thus far, the season is looking pretty good. We have the race coming up right here. It was a 7:04, I believe. Well, we'll find out in 2 seconds. 7:04. And it's I mean that's kind of incredibly fast. What were you thinking when you crossed that finish line and you saw 7.04 on the scoreboard?
I mean, I was pumped. I knew it was there. I mean, I ran 7:06 in the prelim, so I knew that, you know, a low 7:0 was there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just excited. I was excited for another solid race, another, you know, PR. I'm pumped about it.
Yeah, I could imagine that you would be for sure. And that field, I mean, that was not the easiest field, if I recall. I think we saw Sharika Jackson was in that race as well. I think, yeah. I'm just trying to watch the video on the yeah, I mean, definitely not the easiest field. So to come up in front is quite impressive. So what and why? All right, so Bob just brought up. So here's what's happening in this stupid video that Bob decided to bring up right now. So that
I think you're driving very well. I just I mean.
Well, so what happened? That's Hannah Cunliffe, who's standing next to me there. And she said, I can teach you how to be so explosive you'll fall down. And I said, that's a lie. And then she taught me a couple tricks, and I literally almost fell down. Now, granted, I'm wearing like Jordans and not spikes and jeans.
Yeah.
So Jordans and jeans are
it's
a bad
apparel.
No. Yeah. Jordans and jeans are a bad combo for running track.
Very much so.
It's also funny because I did a little training session with Zaza last year down there in Fayetteville, and I was wearing the same shoes and well, I don't know if they were the same jeans, but jeans nevertheless. Regardless, I'm not the athlete here. We've already established that. We're moving on. Thank you for the video, Bob. By the way, everyone, we do have a packed show. I didn't even talk about our other guests who are coming in. Danny Mackay, head coach from the Brooks Beasts, and Johnny LaQuasto, who is a former CBS sports personality. He did some March Madness for a few years back on digital. WWE commentator and hilarious stand-up comic who has a new album just came out, new special. And I know we had another comic, Alex Hooper, on last night. Brandon, you are all about these comics. Prepare to exercise your whatever cheekbones are. I don't know. Johnny could probably tell us because he was also or maybe still is certified, but a certified physical therapist. So he probably even knows what these muscles are. I don't. I digress. Danny is joining us now. Danny Mackay, head coach of the Brooks Beasts. And I promised that I'm not going to allow this show to go past 10 because I know you're a big MMA fan. And there's a couple of fights on tonight, which I may or may not be putting a wager on since now it's legal here in Connecticut. Let's go. Thank you for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself there, Danny?
Yeah, I'm the head coach of a professional middle distance team sponsored by Brooks, and yeah, I've been doing it. This is my 10th season, which is crazy to say that. But yeah, so yeah, but we had a huge weekend. We were in Spokane for an invitational. Had an athlete today run the 400 in Seattle, and got a couple buddies waiting to do the UFC fight and gamble a little bit. So yeah,
Let's go. Let's go. Adesanya, is that what we're doing? Yeah.
no, I'm gonna.
Well, thanks. That's all the time we have for you tonight, Danny. I appreciate you. Look,
I should bet on him. I'm gonna go with Whitaker. I'm gonna go with my emotional bet.
all right, fair enough. Yeah, it's always smart to bet with your heart instead of your brain. Absolutely. So Danny, tell us a little bit about Brooks Beasts. I know it's distance running for the most part. I mean, you do have 800-meter runners, which we've established that's a sprint now. That's no longer distance. So tell us a little bit about your group out there.
Yeah, so we have international athletes, but most of them are from the U.S. and we have 800. I've had one marathon over the last 9 years, but yeah, Brooks fully supports them. All of them move to Seattle. That's where the global headquarters for Brooks is based out of, and yeah, we were focused on getting people onto world and Olympic teams, and yeah, doing it like the healthy, right way. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of approach with the athletes. It's one of the things I'm really proud of. We've had a couple global medals, but it's been like a very slow progression of getting to that point. So it's been cool to see that.
Sure. And I do have to say, probably the most comfortable shoe out there are Brooks. And I'm not no free shout outs usually, but I've got a pair and they're not bad. Now, granted, I'm not running any marathons, obviously, but it's yeah, love Brooks, love their products. And Marybeth, I did see you perk up a little bit when I mentioned MMA. Are you getting down on some fights tonight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have it like ready to go upstairs as soon as they come on. I grew up watching UFC with my dad. Wow. MMA, like I love that stuff. So we are excited about it.
I could see you as a fighter. You've got a little fight in you, don't?
I think so. I think I'd be really good. A little feisty.
There you go. What would be your discipline if you were fighting MMA?
I don't know. I feel like because I'm so small, like I could be on the ground and kind of get like out of it. So maybe the jiu-jitsu part of things.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Right. Love that. So it's it's funny. It's during the Winter Olympics. We put the show on to talk Winter Olympics, but we have 3 track athletes. But I am curious. Have you, Marybeth and Danny, been able to take on any watching of what's happening out there in Beijing? Do you guys get down on the Winter Games?
Yeah. I mean, I love any part of the Olympics. So I mean, I love to watch all the games, and I really just love competition all around.
It looks like the evil twin of Johnny Lacoste just showed up. Rocking the Mirror Universe goatee these days. What's going on, Johnny? How are you?
I know we're not talking about free advertisement, but the only shoes my Achilles trust are Brooks.
There you go. Is that it? He's like, drop the mic.
Guys, I'm on a cruise ship right now. I don't know what kind of yeah. I'm on a cruise ship right now. My connection is not exactly great. You guys are all frozen right now, which is fine for the 3 of you. For Mike, your face is terrifying. So hopefully this doesn't get me too far behind with everything we're talking about. But honor to be here. What's up, everybody?
Where's the ship? Where are you located right now? Just in case like the feed cuts out and we need to send someone to rescue you. Where are you? You no idea.
I don't know.
We're in the ocean. You know, we're heading back to Fort Lauderdale, and then I have to get back on the ship and host the Super Bowl party tomorrow, and then do a show afterwards, and then I think I get to fly home after that. We'll see what happens.
All right, there you go. Awesome. So we were talking about Winter Games when you showed up, Danny. What do you enjoy that happens on ice and or snow?
So work's been crazy because I've been racing. The only event I've been able to watch is speed skating, which is applicable to my world, just going in a circle quickly. So yeah, the downhill events I appreciate because there's no way I could ever do that. But yeah, speed skating.
Okay, right. Have you tried Any sort of winter
No.
sports? No.
I mean, I'm from Chicago, so I've done hockey, but that's the extent of my experience on ice. Yeah, it's not good. So
good game for USA last night in hockey, though.
I missed it,
this
but yeah.
morning in hockey.
Yeah, I think it was this morning.
It's not. Yeah, it's not every day you get to beat Canada, which is always good. And Johnny out there on a cruise ship, that's like the exact opposite of the winter games, really. But I'm kind of curious. You ever try the skiing, the snowboard? What do you do? I love the delay. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Okay, there we go. Am I okay? Was I the one that was lagging, or
No, he's trying to talk now. It's this whole cruise ship thing is just killing him. Technical difficulties.
hey, the show goes on.
Yeah. I don't know if he's muted or what. I see him talking. He's talking. He's just like, what's going on? We'll see if we can fix his connection real quick. Brandon, what do you got while we work on fixing the connection?
Okay. One thing I've noticed, especially like for the both of you, is like I feel like both of you really, really own kind of like that underdog mentality. Maybe Marybeth, I've seen a couple of your races, this year, and then Danny, just like doing research on your team, and then I listened to a podcast of what Isaiah said. He said like he feels like everybody is hungry, everybody has that dog in them, and that everybody is hungry to get to the top. So can you both really explain to me what that chip on your shoulder is, and really tell the audience like what is driving you guys to be the best that you guys can be?
Do you want to go for it, Marybeth? You want me to go?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. And I could go on for days about what really, keeps me going and motivates me. But I think the biggest thing is, I mean, I started track at a really young age. I had success like you when I was young, came into college and then eventually got hurt and was told that I was done with the sport, medically retired, you're out. So for 2 years, 2.5 years, I was out. I thought I was done, and then really realized that I wasn't, and I was able to compete, got cleared, and so I guess that chip on my shoulder is just I know what I'm capable of, and like the people who see me every day know what I'm capable of, and others may not. Others may doubt me. They may like not really understand the talent I have or how I'm doing what I'm doing right now or anything like that. And I guess just not in the sense of proving them wrong, because I think that's a fine line. If you walk up to the line at a track and it's like, okay, I have to prove these people wrong, I have to prove myself. That's not my mentality. It's like I just know what I'm capable of. I see what I do in practice every day. So the chip on my shoulder is just, I guess, showing everyone that I belong. And I belonged all along, and I may have been overlooked or, underestimated in the sport for a while, but I'm here, and that just keeps me going and grounded, and obviously the people in my corner always. So
yeah, there's some similarities between what I think and what Marybeth was saying. I had to take the long way to get to be a head coach. Took the stairs, and so it's hard. It's tricky when you're the head coach of a team, because I don't want to ever project my own or some of the parts of me onto the team, because I don't want to live through them at all. But I think because I went that way, and I tried to be really thorough with grad school and studying and just being like really knowledgeable about what to do from a human performance standpoint. Like when that happened and I kept not getting jobs, I just put the blinders on in a sense, and I just stopped caring what people think. So, the chip, I get asked that a lot, and Isaiah said it, and I'm so unaware of the extrinsic parts of what our world is now, that some of that I think comes onto the team. And so for me, it's the drivers are really intrinsic based, where I know I'm really fortunate enough to be working with these humans who are super passionate and they have personalities and like approaches like Marybeth, where she's trying to just see how good she can be. And so that I'm around 13 people on the team like daily that do that. So my metric is them. And so if they are happy and they want to be on the team and they want to re-sign and stay there, then I feel like I'm doing a good job, because I try to recruit people that have at least some sort of similarities in terms of what I want to be able to enjoy going to work. And so that the beast, for the most part, like somebody like Isaiah Harris you reference, like internally he's very, very driven. Like when Josh broke the Olympic record and won a medal this year, Josh Kerr, like the first thing we talked about was like trying to run a little better. I mean, I've looked at the medal for like 2 seconds and he doesn't even know where it is right now. So it matters when he's retired, but he wants to see how good he is. So yeah, it's kind of nice not having a chip on her shoulder. I got asked this yesterday at the meet and I didn't know my face was in the Jumbotron, and I just gave a little bit more of a goofy answer. And I was like, oh shit, it was like live at the race and stuff like that. But try to have fun with it. We don't take ourselves that seriously. And there's a lot of research around like being playful when you're being a high performance athlete, and how we'll see it in UFC tonight. Like the athletes that are loose in the cage, they tend to do really well. So I try to have that attitude with the team, and then we just see how high we can go. I think you can't be good at this job in the performance world from an athletic standpoint like Marybeth or a coach, unless there's an element that just loves competition. So it's not that I'm like always competitive, I'll lose in board games and it's fine and stuff like that. But there's like certain things where I'm just very, very competitive, and track is pretty objective and black and white. And so that just naturally just brings it out of me. So the athletes in the team are also like that too. Like they love championship racing. So yeah.
Got you. Yeah. And Johnny, I have a question for you, actually. Physical therapist turned comedian. Tell me, like, I feel like, how do you really get into comedy? Like, what goes through your mind? Is like, yeah, I want to tell jokes, and you were very good at it. So tell me your thought process behind wanting to get into comedy, and how your career kind of took shape.
Well, I mean, to piggyback off what Marybeth and Danny just said, I think to be really good at anything, even if it's not necessarily athletics, there's a huge mental aspect of it. I mean, you guys are all tremendous athletes, and I bet you'd be willing to say that it's just as much mental a lot of times as it is physical. It's kind of that same way in the performing arts. I mean, for me, I've never been someone who likes just one thing. Like the moment I got my physical therapy diploma, I was excited, but I knew that wasn't my end game. I was like, okay, what's next? That's honestly the thought I had as I was leaving the stage. Some of my classmates thought I was insane, but I just knew that wasn't the end game for me. And then I found stand-up, and then I met Mike and found hosting, and then I found combat sports, and then I've been doing those for the past 10 years. And for me, it's like, I'm one of those people that I couldn't just choose one thing, and I just want to be good at everything I love. And that's the one thing I've focused on. And so the hard part is shifting, because sometimes you just want to focus on this, but then something else pops up and you got to focus on that. And that's the hardest part about being one person when you want to do so many things. That's why I give so much credit to world-class athletes like you guys, and a world-class coach like Danny, who's also a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. My God, to be able to do all of those things, it's a next level of concentration and dedication. As far as telling jokes, it's simple. I was a fat kid, and I got a sense of humor early, and it just stuck with me. And it's fun to make people laugh, and it's fun to put myself as the butt of the joke.
And I mentioned it earlier. You did just have an album that came out. You had a special that was on Roku. Just real quick, just give everyone the pitch so they know where they can actually watch you be funny.
Oh, well, thank you. It's real simple. Go to quastospecial.com, QUASTO special.com. It's streaming on Roku, on Tubi, on Zumo, on Sling TV, a couple more platforms on the way. I really think you'll enjoy it. I made it different than other comedy specials. It's not your typical comedy special. It's very different. And you can watch it for free. I mean, just a couple of ads, and that's all. It's free. I mean, my God, it's just like the Olympics. It's free, only not nearly as exciting.
And for you athletes,
I'm the Mono Bob of comedy.
Yeah, right. the athletes in the room may actually appreciate it. Probably is the only comedy special I've ever seen that has a joke about a total knee replacement coming from a physical therapist. So maybe it's something that you guys will enjoy. Hopefully that you won't, be able to relate to, of course. But it was pretty funny. It had me laughing, and that's not very easy to do. So okay, hold on. We got to take a step back though. I heard blue belt in jiu-jitsu for Danny, huh? Talk to me about that a little bit.
So I think my friends from the MMA team are watching this, so and they're all way better than I am. Yeah, I started doing this, gosh, almost it'll be 5 years ago, a little over 5 years. So I'm a 3rd degree blue belt. We're all my friends. So when the pandemic started, my garage turned into this dojo in the street, and then like I just moved into the neighborhood, so everybody, because nobody had anything to do, so just like coming by, little kids would watch, and family who were like, "What are these guys doing in the garage?" So I have some close friends from it. I love it. I've competed once in a fight, and then I'm supposed to go in like 3 weeks. Work's always the challenge, But I love it. But yeah, I hope to keep going to get to the black belt level, but it takes forever in jiu-jitsu. So
for sure. So I'm assuming it's been a topic of conversation as we've had winter athletes on the show during the Olympics, but I'm assuming it's the same for you when you watch UFC, especially if there's jiu-jitsu fighters in the octagon. You probably watch it a little bit differently than most people, right? Do you actually try to take away tips, or are you watching it for more so just the entertainment value of the fight?
Yeah, by both. Like there's something with the police, like the U.S. police. I think most encounters go to the ground, somewhere in the 90%. So UFC is not that different. Like you get some rare people like Conor McGregor that knock people out on their feet, or Izzy Alessandro, who's a very good striker. So those are rare, but yeah, we'll see something cool, and then we'll break it down and try it. Like tomorrow, we'll probably go to the mats in the morning, get a run in, and then go do some training and try some stuff that we see. So yeah,
I'm kind of curious how like jiu-jitsu and or I guess MMA in general and track, like how do those sports parallel in your minds?
They're actually they're pretty similar. Like the amount of and it's different for somebody like a sprinter like Marybeth, because she has literally, like, you stand in the blocks or near the blocks of a 60 or 100, you can literally like feel the intensity. And then you have the 800 like Brandon. It's like if you make one tactical mistake because you're close to people, everything is screwed. So you have to kind of like anticipate what people are going to do. Somebody like Brandon, 800 and up, like you're physically going to be hurting, and so you just know that going into the activity. So we've done a lot of work with Greg Jackson over in Albuquerque. So he coaches John Jones and Holly Holmes, and he's coached George St. Pierre. So the reason why we do some work with him is he works like they have to step into a cage with somebody who's trying to stop them from doing what they want to do, which is mentally very hard. And so the week leading up to it, there's a lot of similarities. The focus standpoint and being able to like have contingency plans, and then being able to like have decision points in a race, and those are very, very similar to like a fight, for sure. It's kind of funny, like you see skinny distance runners in an MMA gym, and they start speaking the same language as these guys and men and women with cauliflower ears and tattoos, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool to see that communication between the two being so similar.
See, what we need to do to just really connect the dots is when there's like a big race, we just need to do the introductions in the exact same way as they do,
for sure.
right?
Yes.
Like I want to see, like Marybeth, I want to see you coming out with like a robe and just getting
I
into
am
it.
nickname.
so down for that. You guys have no idea. I'm like, let's go.
What would be your walkout song, Marybeth?
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've thought about this?
Oh, do tell.
Oh, anytime I watch like a fight like this, or even like baseball in high school, I was like, it'd be really cool to have a walkout song. I don't know. I feel like it changes all the time. But since I was 10, I'm probably going to get laughed at for this. Don't laugh at me. Till I Collapse by Eminem.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I go to. I
Yeah, no.
love him. I love that song.
No,
so-
that's a great song.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
a great
good.
song.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, no, I'm not. We're not gonna laugh. I used to, like a while ago, almost as a hobby, I was doing PA announcing for football games, local football games in Connecticut. And when the other team would come out, I would play "It's Raining Men." So, given and they, oh man, if that didn't amp them up, I don't know what did. So your answer is not nearly as bad as that.
You're right.
So, so I'm just saying, I love this tweet. Oh, this tweet. Can you see the tweets? You see the tweets? Like, oh, I love it.
Yes.
There's nothing better than Bruce Buffer yelling, "It's time," and it's not time yet, right? No, we still got 23 minutes. This is the only show
Right.
of the entire run that we're running on a clock because everyone here is just like, we
We gotta watch these.
yeah,
fights,
we gotta go. Watch it.
Now, Marybeth, I have a question for you. We kind of asked, Mike kind of asked, what would your signature walkout song be? Mine is, what would your signature celebration be? You know, you have the Usain Bolt with the, the lightning bolt. You have LeBron James with the silencer. If you could do any celebration at the end of the 60 or the end of the 100, I feel like it would kind of be hard in the 800 since, as Danny said, you're going to be in physical pain.
Yeah.
What would it be, and will we see it this year?
Ooh. I'm thinking about all of the, celebrations I've seen. I love this, like when people do that, but that doesn't really. I feel like I would like. Yeah, I feel like I like something simple, but it's also a statement, a bold statement. So, like, help me out. I mean, what? Maybe. I don't know. Not that you say. I don't know.
Deep in thought. Look, yeah, we're gonna come up with something good.
Yeah. You gotta make something
like simple and subtle, but also like ooh.
Well, it's got to be a big time like statement thing because, like you said before, folks may be overlooking you in the sport. Not just on paper, but like literally, like, oh, hey. But I'm short too, so it's okay. But yeah, we got to come up with a really good like celebration for that. All right, we're gonna work on that.
All
If
right.
anyone in the chat room has a good idea,
Yeah,
please put it in there.
Do you think you could hit the gritty?
What about you, Brandon? I know you're probably gonna be like on the floor in a lot of pain, but if you weren't, let's say you could have just a celebration, what do you think you'd be?
You know what? For the sake of a celebration, I would make it seem like I'm not tired. I think the gritty would be something I go for. I love the gritty. It's something, it expresses, I feel like I'm a pretty fun guy. I love the gritty, and I feel like that'd be kind of dope.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, you mentioned LeBron before. What you should do is go over to the shot put and do the chalk. Like when you win,
that would be.
When you win, just run over, just interrupt, guys. Hold on, like Krauser, step back 1 second. I won.
Yeah, I might have to
then
do
just
that.
collapse right there in the middle of the sector, and they'll like cart you out. That would make the news.
That would definitely make the news.
Oh man, I love that. Can you do that? You mentioned like you're like, oh, I'll just act like I'm not tired. Can you actually put that on like after a race?
Oh, 100%. 100%. One thing my mom always told me is never let your opponent see that you're tired. So even if you run just like a big PR and you're tired, you hold all that for, behind, and your trainers can see all that. But my mom told me to never let your opponent see that you're tired. So
yeah, even after the race though, right? Even if it's the last race of the season, you win the championship, right? You're standing on top. You're not even gonna just be like, I'm a little tired. Like,
yeah, because I feel like I feel like personally I would be demoralized if I was like in a complete battle with somebody and I was tired and they just walked off the track, just like super easy, just like that. But now I guess whatever Mama says goes. So I'm not gonna question her.
rules to live by. 100%. Brandon, have you tried to run much longer than the 800? Have you done a race that ends with a K?
We had a 1K time trial back in November, and then I also ran a 1500. You know, coming up throughout high school and middle school and all that. I love the 1500. You know.
Do you now? Oh, that's where I was going to ask you because, like, Danny, you're mainly 815 and 3K, right? Primarily.
Yeah. We had 2 Olympians I've had Olympians in the 8 and 15. So
Okay.
that's up to nobody. We've had some people make some world cross teams, but nobody on the track yet. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the biggest difference in going from an 8 to a 15, other than it being twice the distance of a race? But I'm kind of curious from a coach's perspective, how do you approach all those different disciplines differently? I guess actually between the 15 and the 3K would be an even bigger jump, but perhaps more similarity. So I don't know. How do you approach that from a coaching perspective?
Yeah, so it's. I mean, Brandon could probably speak to it. Like the 15 is like 5K person or 3K is a lot, or 15 person can move up easier into those events.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a pure 800 person, like I think of Isaiah Harris, Devin Dixon, Drew Windle, like they don't want to run the 15, but they might as well just do an ultra marathon. It feels like they're out there forever. So
Right.
I'm very big on specificity. I have one athlete, one guy who can go 15.8. He's very unusual, but for the most part, yeah, we pick an event, and like if it's 15 and they want to move up, then the volume goes up quite a bit more to get ready for that. Because metabolically, it's actually a little bit more similar to the 5K than it is 800.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Marybeth, you want to try a 3K?
Absolutely not.
What's the longest race you've actually done?
I mean, I did like a time trial 400, but like in competition of 300.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Would
I
you
didn't love it.
do you do in training? I mean, do you ever do anything remotely close to 800s, or is that just like, yeah, look at the face. She's
Oh,
terrified
no.
to even ask the question. Well, I'm only asking because it seems like it's just like one of those things like I love hot sauce. So I got the hot ones, the box, right? And the one that's all the way at the top, you got to try it. You're like, oh, I'll be fine, and then you hallucinate for a while, cry, and wake up with an ulcer, right? So it seems like the analogy in your world would be, oh, let's just go run an 800, but you're not trying to make that a part of your life.
I mean, yeah, no. No, Brandon, yeah, you got to be kind of crazy to love the 800, which is why I like appreciate you guys. I'm like, the 400 is obviously a really hard race, but the 800, you have a whole nother lap after that initial 400. That is like, and you have to be going fast. So I commend you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I honestly, well, I guess this is coming from an 800 runner. I don't think the 800 is as bad as people make it out to be, in my opinion. But I guess that's because we train for the 800. Now, I think 800 training it can be hard, but like when you train for something, it's obviously gonna feel easier than it would to somebody who doesn't. But sprinting is hard too. I don't think my hamstrings can handle some of you guys' workout. But
yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
And as technical as it is, you got angles and this and that, and
you have so little room for error.
Exactly.
I did see. I have a question for you, Brandon. Angela M said that you have run the 100-meter up to the 5K. Is this true?
I like in Little League, I did definitely try out like every event. But yeah, it is true.
Okay. How did you like the 100?
Is that mom?
That is definitely mom.
That's mom. Let's go. What's up, mom? It's like the M might be Miller. Hi, Mom. What's up, mom? How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. All right, continue, Marybeth. You were asking a question.
I was just like, how did you like the 100? Was it like, this isn't for me, or was it like, ooh, this is fun?
It was too short. I feel like my favorite sprint is the 200. But the 100, it was just like I just started and now I'm finished.
Yeah.
But it's a very fun race to watch, I should say.
Yeah, definitely.
This is actually something you should try, which I do at track meets, run back and forth side to side holding a huge camera rig trying to get good shots of you guys. That's something you should try, because I did that trying I think it was a I don't know, it was a 16. I was filming Clayton Murphy going back and forth side to side, and that was really tiring, I got to tell you. And this is also the time in the show where I was going to ask Johnny to talk about recovery, but I think the cruise ship Wi-Fi just didn't hold. So we're going to have him back maybe on another episode if we can't get him back in here tonight. But here's a question coming in from the chat room. We're going back to MMA. What MMA skill would be most useful in the Winter Olympics? What do you guys think about that?
Probably Muay Thai, I would say.
Okay.
Because they have flexibility and they have to be balancing on one. I think of figure skating, which I hope nobody from Muay Thai hears that in like comparison. But I've fallen trying to throw kicks, so I'd imagine that would be something that could carry over pretty well, just because of the balance and the dexterity and the flexibility.
Okay, that's a good answer. I like that. What do you think, Marybeth? And it doesn't have to be necessarily like a style of fighting. Maybe it is just, I don't know, ground and pound. Does that translate to any sport? The luge, maybe that translates to, because you're on the ground the whole time, kind of. I don't know.
That is a good question. I mean, I would probably say the endurance part of it. Like in MMA, you got to go rounds. You have to be, ready to go longer than your opponent and get tired not as fast as your opponent, basically. And I think of figure skating, I think of skiing, I think of all of those, and you got to have the endurance and the capability to just go.
Yeah, I'm thinking biathlon. Endurance in biathlon is probably huge and understated, but when you're cross country skiing like a 10 or 15K, and then you have to sharpshoot at a target that's like this big, like 100 meters away. Like when you're tired, that's got to be really tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be real tough. I see Johnny's back. What's going on, Johnny? Maybe.
I just jumped back into say goodbye because my connection is so bad. I'm missing the conversation. I'm bummed because I'm interested in everyone. I'm about to go jump in the ocean, but I just want to say, yes, I want to come back next week. It's a pleasure to talk to everyone and at least try to talk to everyone. Best of luck, Marybeth and Brandon. You guys are killing it. It's going to be fun to follow you guys. And Danny, hopefully, you can hook me up with some Brooks gear.
Anytime.
We'll go from there.
Anytime. The guy's on the show for 2 minutes. Anytime he gets shoes.
Anytime.
What the hell is this?
Just gotta ask.
All right. Have fun in the ocean. Don't remember, when you see the fin come through the water, swim at it. It's like when a bear comes at you. Just get big.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Johnny. We'll totally have you back on next week, man. We'll talk to you soon. Oh, I think he's picking up. He like froze.
Right. See you guys.
You can get the first shoe up there. Okay. Poor guy. I was so excited to have him on because the whole physical therapy, rehab, all of that kind of stuff that plays into especially the distance disciplines. I was really looking forward to, hearing some tips or maybe some horror stories coming from Quasto, but we'll have him back on next week for sure. It's 9:50, so we have 10 minutes left. We have a hard out tonight for sure. Before we hit that time, I want to give you guys just a quick chance. Shout out where people can find you, where they can watch you this season. Danny, if there's any athletes you're coaching that you want to shout out, by all means, let us know everything that's going on in your life. Let's just start with you, Marybeth.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can, watch me on social media, follow me where I'm going, meets there, at MB Price, _MB Price. I will be at USA's in a couple weeks. And then from there, hopefully make, the world championship team. So, follow me from there. That's, things are starting to get pretty serious around here. So,
Yeah.
See where that goes, and then outdoor, plan to make the world championship team as well. So yeah.
There you go. And if you want to learn more about Marybeth, you may have seen it when we first started the show. There's a series that World's Greatest does called Super Docs. It's like 1 to 2 minute mini documentaries focusing on athletes. And we did one with Marybeth, and you can watch that on youtube.com/World's Greatest. It's really a really cool episode. It's actually one of my favorite episodes. All right, I'll get to you in a second, Danny. I'll get to you in a second. But as part of that Super Docs, we did some filming with you. Actually, it was in Fayetteville, I believe, last year. And we always like to ask, what were you thinking on this show? It's a little bit insidery, but I have to ask, what were you thinking when we sent our camera guy, George, to your hotel room at like 7:30 in the morning, and we're like, film her making breakfast? Like, make a smoothie for the camera. What were you thinking?
I am so glad you asked. I'm like, these guys are the experts. I mean, if they can get a cool shot and make a cool story out of this, by all means, like, I will make my smoothie to get this shot. I was let you guys take the reel. So I thought it was, a little funny. I'm like, I don't know the vision here. Hopefully they do. But that was my thought process for sure. And I'm glad you brought that up because
Well, when I heard, oh, we're sending George to Marybeth's hotel room at 7:30 in the morning, she's about to make breakfast. I'm just like, well, this is gonna get interesting. Let's see where this goes. You're big into the smoothie thing, right? For breakfast. And I was lucky enough to get myself a Vitamix for Christmas, and I'm telling you, 5-6 breakfasts a week, it's smoothie, and it's wonderful. I love it. It's great. Give me a recipe. Give me your favorite recipe for smoothies.
You want one right now?
I want a breakfast smoothie recipe. I see the Vitamix right there. I got chia seeds. Let's go.
Perfect. Okay. You always got to have a banana. At least I do. I mean, it adds the sweetness. I love a banana, some mixed berries, some frozen mangoes. And then obviously I put, my green powder in there, my red powder in there. Sometimes I put some turmeric in there with some cinnamon, just, good for my joints and anti-inflammatory. And then I think my secret ingredient is just vanilla yogurt for the protein, Greek yogurt. And then what I've started to do recently, are you writing this down?
I'm taking notes actually. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Was it that obvious?
Yeah.
I was listening. I swear, I was looking down here, but I was listening.
I put for the liquid. I put some body armor in there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Not just the old boring oat milk. No, you're going all out.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, my wife, she found my stash of frozen bananas the other day and thought it was like our 5-year-old daughter who just put bananas in the freezer. But no, that was me. It's a great move. And all right, no free. I was told no free shout outs in the chat, so we're moving on. Danny, tell us what's going on with you this season. Where can we find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Danny T Mackay is my Instagram handle. I talk about the athletes quite a bit, training philosophy from time to time on there. So you can find me there. And then we are, like Marybeth, will be in Spokane, Washington in 2 weeks for the U.S. Indoor Championships. So we'll be there. And then Marta Penn will be in Portugal running her national championships. And then Josh Kerr may or may not be, I should probably be announcing this now, but he may or may not be going for a national record in a mile in Boston that weekend. So it'll be a busy weekend in 2 weeks for us.
It presents an interesting question there, and I've always wondered this because like it came up a couple times last year. Ryan Krauser said it, Fred Curley said it to me. I'm going for a record today, and it's just like, but aren't you like always trying to be the fastest one out there? Yeah. Or do you like legit like in your training cycles be like, no, this is the peak time to go after that record?
Yes and no. Like he ran his first race of the season was in Millrose in New York, and he was just off the UK mile record. And so the distance event's a little tricky because you got to have some people to race against. Like it's hard to just do a mile by yourself.
Mhm.
Not that like Fred would need somebody pushing him, and Marybeth as well. But like, yeah, so it's more of like that's the date he's going to race. He's going to run a mile. Hopefully, get some good competition there to push him.
Yeah.
But so we try to like plan for that stuff. It just can't. Usually early in the season, it's a little bit odd, but he's in good shape right now. He just won. He won the 800 yesterday in Spokane in the Lilac Invitational and looked good. So we'll give it a shot.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that Millrose Games, that mile, the Wanamaker Mile, I think is what it's called, right? It's that's a prestigious mile as far as miles go. So definitely don't
Legendary.
need too much extra motivation for that one. So getting back to the name of the show, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? And you mentioned Josh Kerr. What were you thinking during his Olympic performance there that got him on the podium?
Coaching is not. Somebody asked me, "Are you nervous?" yesterday, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's not. It's miserable, especially the 8 and 15 because the rounds suck, and then they're running fairly fast, and they're really close. They're just close to each other. So I'm just thinking, don't trip for about 800 meters of Josh's 1500, and then he looked good. And it's kind of cool when you watch somebody. I watch them so much that I feel like I have like a little bit of an innate sense. I was standing next to another coach, and it was probably 500 meters to go, and I was like, he's gonna get third or fourth, is what I thought. And so, and then I thought he was gonna get second. So I was just happy things were going smoothly. It's more of like a relief when things go well versus a celebration. Like when I just sat down when he medaled. I just like as soon as he finished, so I just sat. I was like, thank God. So
yeah. That's got to be great. And I'm in the camp that we got to give a little something to the coaches. Maybe not a full medal, but you got to give a little something. If they get it in the equestrian sports, why not track and field? You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Well, guys, this was fantastic. It's I'm letting you go early. It's 9:58 right now. I'm letting you go a couple minutes early. Go get some popcorn, place your bets, enjoy watching the fights tonight. I want both of you guys to come back. What's up, doggy? Oh, hey, doggy. Oh, hey, doggy, dude. Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. What's the dog's name?
Benny.
Benny, you speed demon, you. Who runs the faster 60?
Benny.
Benny. Yeah, he does. All right. Well, now it's 9:59. Now we're definitely up against it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please come back anytime. This was wonderful. I'll see you around this season. And best of luck going into a world championship year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. That was fun. Brandon, you made it back for the finale. Thank you so much for returning.
It was weird because I was still on here, but apparently I wasn't. So like I was sitting on here thinking that I was still on, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I saw just the empty window. You weren't there, but you were there. You were there in spirit, kind of thing. I don't know. Look, if we don't have at least 2 technical difficulties per episode, what are we doing here, right? Although Johnny kind of takes the cake being on a cruise ship. That's insane. Have you ever done a cruise? Have you ever been on a ship like that?
Cruise, but I feel like that's the biggest flex. Guys, my internet is not. It's gonna be subpar because I'm on a cruise ship.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like.
What's Brandon's excuse? Nothing. Brandon's at home. He's got no excuse. Me, I'm in the middle of the ocean.
At a travel trip.
All right.
Hotel Wi-Fi. So.
Fair enough. Well, dude, this was great. I'm sure you'll be back for another couple episodes. We didn't shout out Devin Allen yet, our other co-host on the show, who won his race, 60-meter hurdles at American Track League in Louisville. Shout out Devin Allen. What's going on, man? I can't believe it took us to the end of the show to mention it, but it was great. Yeah, 7.5 seconds, 7.5 flat, not too bad. It was a really fun event. It's really nice to be able to kind of like have your morning coffee and watch track and field. Like that's a good time. I think morning is a good time for me, at least from a spectator's perspective. You like running in the morning or not?
No, I like running in the afternoon, around maybe like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That's where I like to run. Yeah.
But in Beijing, there's hockey players who are playing games at 8 a.m. local time. Can you imagine playing hockey at 8 o'clock?
That is insane. I could not
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, that's rough. All right, man. This was fun. Tell everyone where they can find you again.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is at @BMillerTrackStar, and my Twitter is at @BMillersTrackStar.
And they can also find you on the Bowerman watch list. Don't leave that out.
Oh, and also my YouTube as well. Just type in Brandon Miller.
There you go. Awesome. Love that. We're taking tomorrow off. There happens to be a big game, I guess. I don't know. Something's happening. I'm making chicken wings. I'm actually going bowling. I'm taking a 3 and a 5-year-old bowling tomorrow, so that should be fun. Maybe we'll drop some videos
Hey,
of that.
look.
Yeah, that could go either direction. Yeah, we'll be back on Monday. Don't know who the guests are. Don't know if it's gonna be Brandon or Devin. Maybe both. I don't know. We'll talk some more winter sports. You can follow World's Greatest on Twitter at World's Greatest, except remove all the vowels. WRLDSGRTST. So at and then that. Instagram at World's Greatest Team. YouTube.com/World's Greatest. Valentine's couples. Oh, it's Valentine's Day on Monday. I might be in trouble if we have to do a stream on Monday. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, Bob. Not gonna lie. All right, we'll figure all this stuff out for sure. But dude, this was great. Go enjoy the fights if that's what you're doing, or go to bed. I don't know what you're about to do. I'm gonna go watch some UFC though. All right.
Sure, sounds great.
All right, bud. We'll talk soon.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming.